Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell because what you're about to hear today is going to leave you speechless. In the world of glitz and glam, where emotions are often hidden behind red carpet smiles, one man, Lee Min-ho, let his guard down and cried. But not in a movie, not in a scene. He cried in real life, and the reason behind those tears? A woman whose quiet strength changed everything, Song Hye Kyo. Today, we uncover the full story behind that emotional moment that shocked fans around the world. What did she do that no one else could do? What history do they truly share? Grab a cup of tea, sit back, and stay with us until the end because this isn't just a celebrity headline. It's a story about pain, healing, and the kind of connection that only happens once in a lifetime. So let's dive in. It all started on what was supposed to be just another quiet evening. A charity gala held in the heart of Seoul. Cameras were there, the reporters were buzzing, and the stars were out in their finest. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared the world for what they were about to witness. For in a fleeting moment, one man, known for his poise and charisma, broke down in front of thousands. That man was none other than Lee Min-ho. He wasn't giving a speech. He wasn't acting in a scene. He wasn't performing for the cameras. He was simply watching, and the person he was watching was Song Hye Kyo as she took the stage to deliver a heartfelt message on loss, love, and second chances. There was something in her voice, in the way she stood, in her presence, her calm strength, her sheer grace, that pierced deeper than words. It was as if time froze and all the noise in the room melted away. Lee Min-ho, sitting quietly near the front row, tried to hold it together, but he couldn't. 'Cause only he knew the weight of her words. Only he recognized the unspeakable pain behind her eyes, and only he had been close enough to understand how strong she truly was. How no one else, no one, not even the strongest among them, could do what Song Hye Kyo did. Lee Min-ho cried, but not out of sorrow. He cried out of overwhelming awe. Rumors have long circulated around the bond between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo. Though they've never officially confirmed being a couple, insiders have whispered of a deep connection, one that went beyond flirtation or media headlines. They were kindred spirits, drawn together by similar life scars, shared grief, and the burden of being under the spotlight since their youth. Lee Min-ho once confided in a close friend, "There are many beautiful women in this industry, but only one who understands the silence between chaos. Only one who listens, even when you say nothing." That one woman was Song Hye Kyo. Years ago, during a particularly rough patch in Lee Min-ho's life, when he lost a family member and faced immense pressure from public expectations, it was Song Hye Kyo who showed up. But not with cameras. Not with flowers. Not with anything except presence. She didn't offer advice. She didn't speak in cliches. She simply sat next to him, letting the silence do the healing. "It was the first time I didn't feel alone in a room full of people," he later said in an interview, though few knew he was referring to her. Their bond, forged in quiet support and mutual understanding, was never plastered across tabloids or screamed from Instagram posts. Instead, it lived in side glances at award shows and quiet conversations during rehearsals in moments unseen by the public. And now, as Lee Min-ho watched her speak from a place of raw vulnerability, sharing her story of navigating betrayal, heartbreak, and the pain of being misunderstood, he was moved beyond words. No one else could do what she did. He later told a director friend, tears still fresh in his eyes, not just surviving everything she went through, but doing it with dignity, with grace, with her heart still open. What Song Hye Kyo had endured was no secret. A painful, very public divorce, rumors, betrayals, media harassment, the kind of emotional warfare that breaks even the strongest. But not her. She didn't clap back. She didn't crumble. She stood tall. Not in anger. Not in vengeance. But in peace. And now, having rebuilt herself from the inside out, she used her pain to lift others. Her speech that night wasn't just about her own journey. It was about the universal struggle of healing, of trusting again, of staying soft in a world that rewards hardness. Lee Min-ho wasn't the only one in tears that night, but his tears were different. They weren't just for her struggles, they were for the person he knew her to be, the woman who had been there for him in ways no one else had. Lee Min-ho had seen her strength up close. He had been a recipient of her quiet kindness. He knew firsthand how this woman, often painted by the media as fragile, was in fact one of the fiercest souls he had ever known. "She doesn't just survive," he said. "She elevates everyone around her, including me." In the days that followed the gala, photos of Lee Min-ho wiping away tears quickly circulated online. Fans speculated wildly. Some wondered if the two stars had rekindled something. Others were convinced it was simply a friend admiring a peer. But those who knew the deeper truth didn't speak. Not because of fear, but because some stories are too sacred for gossip. Behind closed doors, Lee Min-ho remained quiet. He didn't issue any press statements. He didn't post cryptic captions on Instagram. He simply returned to filming, showing up to set with a renewed sense of purpose but a noticeable change in his demeanor. There was a stillness in him, one crew member reported, as if he had seen something or someone that reminded him why he started this path in the first place. It wasn't sadness, it was reverence. For a man who had seen countless actresses rise and fall, who had shared the screen with beauty and talent from every corner of Asia, nothing had moved him quite like Song Hye Kyo's resilience. Not because she was perfect, but because she had never pretended to be. Because in a world obsessed with image, she chose depth. She chose authenticity over applause. There had been a moment between them backstage, brief, silent, but electric. As the gala ended and the crowds dispersed, she walked past him, not expecting anything. But he stood up, met her eyes, and for the first time in what felt like ages, they both smiled. No words. Just that glance. That knowing look shared between two souls who had walked through fire and still chose light. It wasn't about love lost. It was about mutual respect, about emotional history, about witnessing someone survive what should have destroyed them and come back more graceful than ever. Later that night, in the quiet of his apartment, Lee Min-ho wrote something in a leather-bound journal he rarely showed anyone. "She didn't save me, but she reminded me I was worth saving." Those words would never make it into a drama script. They weren't lines to be performed. They were confessions, real ones. And it was then, more than ever, that he understood what made Song Hye Kyo different. It wasn't just her beauty or fame or elegance. It was her ability to remain soft in a world that demanded she become hard. Her quiet strength in moments when the world tried to define her. Her refusal to be anyone but herself. No other woman he had ever known could love the way she did. Not loudly, but deeply. Not in front of the world, but in the spaces that mattered, in silence, in presence. And that's why he cried. Not out of regret. Not even out of heartbreak. But because in that moment, watching her rise above pain and stand tall again, he saw the very thing the world too often misses, the rare, quiet magic of a woman who never stopped believing in grace. So when fans ask, why did Lee Min-ho cry, the answer isn't simple. It's not just about love. It's about being seen, being understood, being healed by the mere existence of someone who never needed to say a word to touch your soul. And maybe, just maybe, he cried because in a life filled with noise, Song Hye Kyo had always been his peace.